Hello, welcome to another Commander deck flip through. So we're on the fourth deck from the 2014 Commander product. This is the red deck. This is built from scratch. And as you will see, like all the decks that were in this particular release of the kind of Commander product for that year, they have a commander which is also a planeswalker, and the way they get around that is by having this in the rules text. So name of the planeswalker and the fact that it can be your commander. So that was the first thing I believe they'd done something like that. So let us flip through the deck and have a look at the artwork. We'll look at the tokens at the end, and I'll make sure I remember to do that. And also I'll include a link to the original unboxing for this as well, if you want to see the full cards and a bit of a explanation about the deck. So let us go through and admire the artwork. So as with decks previously, there was a couple of other commanders you could have for the deck, but they weren't, obviously, and this is a thing I suppose with the other decks as well, they weren't quite as synergistic as obviously using the lead commander. So we have Felden and we have Bosch. So although Bosch is colourless to cast, it does have a red activation cost, which means its colour identity is red. So we can use that as a command, as a red commander. So we're going to move through the higher rarities first. There's also Tuk in this deck as well. So it'll be interesting to see, are we going to see lots of dragons? And I think the answer maybe yes, we will see. So we've already moved on to our enchantments there, our rare enchantment and some instants. So with these decks, they weren't obviously doing anything clever at this point in terms of the numbering of the cards or set symbols to differentiate between, what were reprints, what were specific to the deck, or specific to the set or new to the set at that time, and also any ones that might be in whatever the most recent set that was released. Now that's not to say the numbering didn't reflect necessarily whether it was a reprint or not, it's just they hadn't really got into that elaborate thing like you see with the new decks once they moved into a position of releasing basically decks with the sets. They started to mess around with the set symbols as well. Steel Hellkite. Yeah, I forgot the one core engine was in here actually. And here are our rare artifacts. a trading post in the deck and a caged sun and a spine, and our rare land is Flamekin Village. So now we move on to the uncommons. Sorcery, and see what we have here. I think this deck has a number of artifact creatures. It looks like there's some Mia here. The Chalice and the Inevitable Soul Ring. All the decks have a combination of cards which help with the fact that it's they're mono-coloured decks. So you'll see certain cycles, like the diamonds, for instance. And then we move on to our commons. I've got the uncommon lands a little bit later in here, with the common lands and the non-basics as well, and the basics as well. So if you wonder where they are. And you can see a very artifact heavy deck. And here are the rest of our non-basic lands. No surprise that we have Buried Ruin. And what about the artifact lands? Well, there's Darksteel Citadel. We've got the cycling lands in here. And also the artifact land in red. Rather nice Ghost Quarter. Nice to see they're including things like Reliquary Tower in the deck as well. And now we've got to our basics, so in keeping with what we've seen so far, we should find that there are 4 different types of artwork here. So I've grouped the similar artwork together. So we'll see if that's correct. It was in the other decks, but you never know with these. So onto our second piece of artwork. Very nice there. Oops. That was another one of the same. And now our third piece. And we do have a fourth, good. And then And finally, let's have a look at these tokens. So double-sided, as we see with these Commander product tokens. So we have goat on one side, and then there's goblin on the other. Goat and goblin. Goat and a worm token, because if you remember, we have a card that's generating that. Oh, goat and another worm. Some Mia stuff. There's our Pentavite. And Pentavite. Yep, so these are all the same. You can see, and then finally we have Tuk Tuk the returned token and also an emblem on the other side. So we've got 10 tokens, well 10 physical cards here, but in total 20 tokens because they're double-sided. Thanks once again for watching. Bye for now, and I will catch you in the next episode.